The Volta Estuary supports a variety of livelihoods from the hospitality and fisheries industry. Clam Fisheries is one of the most important fisheries supported by the estuary. It supports the livelihoods of at least 20,000 people and directly employs over 2,000 people. Within the Volta River, clams are collected from the riverbed by hand by divers. Clams are collected into woven bags, then pulled up into the canoes. The clams are transported to the landing site and are sold in rubber buckets to prospective buyers. There have been a series of heated confrontations between the clam miners at Ada in the Ada East District and Chachikope in the South Tongu District over the delineation of sections of the Volta River.
So the conflict has arisen because people created farms, and since nobody did any mapping to demarcate boundaries for these farms as well as the natural areas where clams occur, there have been reports of people diving, going under and entering these farms, so to speak, and stealing clam.
The water space used for clam fisheries falls into two categories: natural collection areas and clam farms. Natural collection areas fall into the open space and communal categories. Initially, any collector had the right to collect clams from anywhere in the river till clam farms started appearing in the 1990s. Clams were formerly available in the lower part of the Volta River towards the sea, but salt intrusion and intensive collection patterns were perceived to have forced the clams to move further upstream. Now, certain sections of the river have been earmarked as natural collection area, which still remain under the open access regime. In response to increase in efforts and salt intrusion, clam fishers started appropriating sections of the river upstream for use as clam farms, thus establishing a private tenure system within the clam fisheries. This has resulted in a few disputes which have required the involvement of the local district assemblies, law enforcement, and traditional authorities to find an amicable solution. This has secured a fragile agreement which appears to be on the verge of collapse.
So farm owners accuse those who enter their farm of stealing clam. The other miners, those accused of stealing clam, also argue that most of the farms are in fact encroaching upon natural clam collection areas, and it led to conflict, in fact violence, to the extent that people became physical and the use of weapons like cutlasses to fight.
Farjuman Kodo was a European Union funded project implemented by Environmental Justice Foundation and Hen Mpoano. The project ran from 2016 to 2020. The project GIS team from Hen Mpoano employed the use of Open Tenure system software to map the clam farms in support of efforts towards co-management of the resources to resolve issues related to access to clam resource and prevent future clam resource related conflicts. The intervention sought to improve traditional clams management and securing SSF and VGGT principles for improved co-management of the clam resources.
So the clam tenure mapping was done to basically document and also to record and map all the current traditional arrangement, and also to look at the development and also the distribution of clam fisheries vis-a-vis the other competing uses is in the Volta Estuary. looking at this, we explored a number of tools and a number of apps for looking at the mapping, but we ended up using the Open Tenure because of how it is connected to the GGT and how it is very robust. The software or the app is also able to be used at different scales and can be adapted at the local level. It can also be used by even the local communities because you just have to report or just record and document claim information using your Android device with very little supervision or training.
The HM team engaged the clam fishers in series of meetings to explain the mapping process to them and then seek for their consent in the mapping activity. The clam fishers, specifically those who own the farms, were grouped based on the proximity to the next farm, and their biodata were taken at the landing site before joining the team for the mapping activity on the river.
The farms were demarcated using bamboo poles above water and pegs connected by rope underwater.
Based on that, the field officers also took the coordinates in 4 corners. The data was then submitted to an online server, which was also used for the processing of the mapping.
So a total of approximately 90 farms, clam farms were mapped, and we discovered that the average occupancy of these farms was 17 years. In fact, what was also discovered was that none of these farmers formally acquired that space, and so there was no documentation whatsoever for their farms.
The Open Tenure app enables us to create maps that showed the identities of the various owners of the clam farms, and it helped inform discussions on the way forward concerning tenure rights within the clam fisheries. And that was one of the key topics that were discussed at the co-management meetings and the stakeholder discussions. The maps also helped us to understand what the situation was and how best the clam resource use conflict could be resolved. And then it also helped us to identify the owners of the various clam farms, and then help us to sort of plan towards the future when it came to managing the clam resources. So some of the key challenges that we faced in using the Open Tenure app was the understanding of the process. We had to take time to explain to the fishers what the app would be used for and what the kind of information that will be generated and how the information will be used.
A number of lessons were learned. 1. To secure a sustainable clam fishery, all relevant stakeholders must be involved in the co-management process. 2. There has to be continuous engagement with the communities to ensure conflict-free resource-use environment. 3. Empower women to process high-quality end product for the upscale market to increase profit.